the ultimate guide to a happy life in retirement. Stay active and healthy in the best chapter of life. Learn new skills and revisit old hobbies. Explore your freedom and social ideas. And in the end, it's not the years in your life that count. It's the life in your years. Abraham Lincoln. Written by Romek, Hanys. Narrated by Zachary Locklear. Introduction. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did. Mark Twain. A few years ago, well before COVID-19, my wife and I set off on a memorable holiday in Italy, spending a few weeks immersed in the country's rich culture and stunning landscapes. One wonderful summer day found us in a lively town in Tuscany, filled with tourists exploring the charming narrow streets flanked by centuries-old houses. The warm sun casts a golden hue over the rolling hills and vineyards in the distance, making the scenery magical. We decided to take a break from sightseeing and enjoy another cup of strong, inexpensive Italian coffee at a small cafe. The air was fragrant with the scent of freshly brewed espresso, and the atmosphere buzzed with laughter and conversation. In this relaxing setting, a man sat down next to us, and as often happens while on holiday, we struck up a friendly conversation. Holiday makes talking to strangers feel natural and enjoyable. As we chatted, I learned that he too was on holiday in Italy and had visited Tuscany many times before. This didn't surprise me. Tuscany seems to have a magical pull on travelers, and I had repeatedly met many people who returned to this region. It's easy to see why. The landscape is filled with lush greenery, dotted with olive groves and vineyards that offer an idyllic escape from the fast-paced life typical of bustling Italian cities. What truly captivated me about this man was his story of retirement. As he spoke, it became clear he had already made that leap, despite being noticeably younger than the traditional retirement age. Intrigued, I asked, "How did you manage to retire at such a young age?" He explained that his lifelong passion for gardening had motivated him to rethink his priorities. He had spent years working in an office, but as he approached his 60s, he realized that life was too precious to dedicate solely to professional work. "I wanted to dedicate my time to what I loved the most," he told me, his eyes lighting up. "I retired to do more gardening at home." He had cultivated a garden, a sanctuary where he could connect with nature and express his creativity. Gardening became his escape and art form. He described how he transformed his garden into a living masterpiece filled with bright flowers of all colors. He showed us pictures on his phone, and we were impressed. "Our time here is limited," he added, gesturing expansively as if to embrace the vastness of life itself. "And I didn't want to spend it all in the office until—" He paused thoughtfully. "Until it's too late." His conviction resonated with me. Here was a man living on his terms, pursuing his passions, rather than waiting for the elusive right time. His words lingered with me long after our conversation ended. I spent the rest of that trip reflecting on the paths people take as they approach retirement. Many people I know work well beyond the traditional retirement age, some because they can't imagine life without a job, and others due to financial necessity. However, I also recognized that many people are apprehensive about retirement, viewing it as a daunting and uncertain transition. They wonder what they'll do with their newfound free time, often putting off retirement for as long as possible due to that fear of the unknown. After returning home from Italy, I contemplated my future. This man's story inspired me to consider the possibility of an early retirement. I realized there is so much more to life than spending 8 hours a day in an office. So, I began taking steps toward my new goal.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?